And if you master this, if you do this, they will instantly think that you're a respectful person. Hey fam, this is me again, Jo, and welcome back to another episode of Filipino Mindset. Trivia. Have you ever wondered why Filipinos often get confused using he and she in a sentence? And that is because in English language, the pronoun that you use in a third person is he and she. So you distinguish whether you're referring to a man or a woman. But in Tagalog or in our language, in Filipino, we only use one, which is siya. And that word siya is not specific to men or women. You can use it both. And that is why we often get confused with using he and she in a sentence. And this is the similarities of Finnish language to Tagalog. So in Finnish language, whether you're referring to a man or a woman, you can only use a third person hen. So there's no specific also, just like Tagalog. So Filipinos often rely on facial expressions to enhance their storytelling or jokes, which makes conversations lively and engaging. And overall, it's unique aspect of Filipino social interaction and culture. I honestly believe that Filipinos in general are good with expressing themselves with non-verbal gestures. So today we're going to talk about that. When we talk about body posture, today it's still a common practice for Filipinos, whether they grew up poor or rich, to eat with one foot on the chair. It is simply because some Filipinos don't use tables and chairs when they're eating. At least they do that in the privacy of their home.
A few moments later.
So the next nonverbal gestures that we use is our hand. And the biggest example of that is, and the most important, is pagmamano, or we're asking for a blessing, or you're showing respect to the elderly. I believe I've talked about this on my previous video before. So you ask someone's hand, especially the older people, and then you put it on your forehead. And if you master this, if you do this when you see an older people or an elderly in the Philippines, and then you do that, mano po, they will instantly think that you're a respectful person. Okay, so in the Philippines, when two person are talking and you wanted to pass through in the middle, this is the best thing that you can do to appear more respectful. So you have to do this, and then you pass through. Excusez-moi. Like that. Or sometimes if you're so lazy to say excuse me or makikiraan po, you can just use this hand and then walk. And that way, you will appear as respectful person. The next one, you want to call someone. So how do you use it? How do you do it in a Filipino way? Like a non-verbal gesture. So this is what you're going to do. You raise your hand, either left or right, and then you do it downwards like this. Halika, come here, like that. Come here. But you're only gonna do that to a friend, like this. Come here, come here. You're only gonna do that to a close friend you have a chica to share with, or you have something to tell. Because if you do that to the Filipina you saw somewhere and you find her attractive and you do that, you do this sign like, oh my, that's very rude. You're gonna receive either a frown face or forehead fold. Worried. Things like that. So, don't do that. You can approach her in a nice way. And the next one is the pine cone hand. So, culturally speaking, it's polite way for a Filipino to ask someone to eat, to invite someone to eat. So what we do is like we use this sign. Let's eat. Kaun ta. Kain tayo. Or let's eat. And I realized that this nonverbal gesture is very effective, especially if you're a country wherein who have a different language. It helps you a lot. And I do this here because in Finland it's very hard to pronounce ua. And in order for you to invite someone to eat, like a local, you have to speak the language properly so that they can understand what you were trying to say. Like in Finland, you have to say mennan, suaman. And sometimes I couldn't pronounce it properly. So what I do is, while saying that, I accompany it with a sign language or a non-verbal gesture, which is mennan, suaman. And that way, my coworkers can understand what I am trying to say. So yeah, it's helpful when you're learning a new language and you use this non-verbal gesture. We love to do this as a kid. Me and my siblings, the Fingerwag, lagot ka, or you're in big trouble, you're dead, things like that. Like for example, your mom gets angry. For example, you go home late, you didn't ask permission, or you didn't wash the dishes, and then your mom is so angry. We do this. Lagot ka. You're in big trouble. It's cheat sign. So I'm not really sure if this is just a Filipino thing when we ask someone or we wanna let the waiter know that we're going to pay for the meal. Instead of asking loudly, we just use this sign. Bill out. Can you share it in the comment section if it's the same in your country too? Is it your culture too? The V sign. Actually, we use this a lot when we're taking pictures or we want to say to someone that we're apologetic with what we've done. Like, peace. Sorry. Like that. Bati na tayo. And we do this a lot. This approve sign, like approve. Okay. It means okay. It means positive. So I believe we're good at this when we want to express our emotions through our faces. So like for example, the lip pointing. And yeah, old habits are hard to die. And even until here, I still do it. Like whenever someone asks me, where is this thing? Where is that thing? Sometimes I couldn't help myself but point my lips on. Misarit vaon. Tuola. my lips just pointing it out on the person she is looking for or the things that she's looking for. And sometimes it could be tricky because it could misunderstood as we're asking for a kiss. Maybe you're right. Our yes could mean nodding or raising eyebrows, just like what I did. And that's it for today's video, fam. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have a moment, I love reading your comments, and it means a lot to me that you're there watching at the end of this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.